So in this video, we're just going to do a short review of how to solve equations. And remember, the goal of solving an equation is to get the variable by itself. And in order to do this, we need to do those inverse operations. So the inverse of addition is subtraction, the inverse of subtraction is addition, the inverse of multiplication is division, and the inverse of division is multiplication. So let's look at 4 examples, just to refresh your memory. So if we look at the first one, remember you always draw your line down that equal sign. Find your variable, which in this case is the v. We have 9 plus v. I need to get that 9 away from that variable. In order to do that, that is a positive 9. So I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. Draw my line so I can do some math. 9 minus 9 will give me 0, so I'm just left with v. And 10 minus 9 is going to give you 1. So I'm left with v equals 1. Don't forget you always need to do your check step because you should never get anything wrong in this unit. So you have 9 plus v equals 10, but instead of v, I'm going to plug in 1. 9 plus 1 is 10 and is equal to 10. So I did get this problem right. V is equal to 1. If I look at number 2, draw your line down your equal sign, circle your variable. In this case, it is the x. X divided by 15. Think of what is the inverse of division. I'm going to multiply in this case by 15 on both sides. What you do to one side, you need to do to the other. Draw a line to do some math. When you have the opposites here, divide by 15, multiply by 15, they're going to cancel. In this case, it just becomes 1, but we don't need the 1 with the x because just by drawing 1x, we know that there's 1 there. And then 2 times 15 is 30. Do remember, if you need to use a calculator for this unit, you may, but for the most part, it should be simple math. So 2 times 15 is 30. X is equal to 30, so that's your answer, but don't forget you should do your check step always because you should never get anything wrong with this unit because you can check your own work. So I have x, which is 30, divided by 15 is equal to 2, and 30 divided by 15 is 2, so 2 is equal to 2, so I did get it right. They balance each other. They're the same on each side, which means I got it right. If I wouldn't have got a matching problem, like 2 equals 2, if I would have gotten 3 equals 2, then I would have had to go back in my work and I did something wrong. Make sure you always do the correct inverse operation. That's where most people mess up. They do the wrong inverse operation, and then you always look to see, did you do your math correctly? Okay, let's do 2 more examples. Draw your line down your equal sign, circle your variable. This is one that most people, if they're not careful, they will mess up. So I have 1/4 times k. It's multiply, and I'm going to need to divide, but I have a fraction here. I am not allowed to divide, so I need to do keep, switch, flip. So I have 1/4 is my keep, switch to multiply, and then flip it over. So I have times 4 over 1, which I'm going to have to do the same thing on this side. Draw your line so you can do some math. Lonely whole numbers go over 1. 4 times 24 is going to be 96 over 1 times 1 is 1. These are opposites, so they're going to cancel out and become 4 over 4, which really becomes 1. But I don't need to write the 1 with the k because I know that there's 1k just by writing it. And then 96 divided by 1 is just going to be 96. So 96 is equal to k is the answer. But let's check it to be sure that you got it right. So you have 24 is equal to 1/4 times k, which is 96. And if you're solving this, lonely whole numbers go over 1, across the top, across the bottom. So I get 96 over 4. And if you do 96 over 4 divided, you get 24. So 24 is equal to 24. So you got that problem correct. And then the last one. Remember, draw your line down your equal sign, circle your variable. get the number away from the variable that's stuck with it. In this case, I have x minus 4. What's the opposite of minus 4? Well, it's going to be plus 4 to both sides. Draw your line so you can do some math. Bring down the x because you haven't done anything with it. Negative 4 and positive 4 will cancel. They'll make 0, which I don't need to write. And then 12 plus 4 gives you 16. So I don't have anything left to solve. I just have x equals 16. I need to do a check step. So I have x, which is 16 minus 4. It should equal 12. 16 minus 4 does equal 12. And so 12 is equal to 12. It's balanced, so I did get it right. Please remember, with this unit, you need to show us work. I know a lot of these are going to be easy for some of you, but we are getting you ready for Algebra 1, so you need to show us your inverse operations so that you can practice.